Okay, so we're back to the Aotearoa train station now, and we're heading to Bangkok. First for us to be in such a major city, but we can have a quick look around, see what we think of the place, give us some more of a feel of Thailand. We have decided on where we wanted to stay, so we want to be close to the river and close to Iconsiam Road. So after arriving in Bangkok, we made our way to the new Siam 2. Nice motel, nice pool. We were quite enjoying our stay here. There's also a park down the road from where we were, which was quite a nice place to go and have a rest, where there was also this fort. Now, I didn't really know they had a fort here, but anyway, so we had a quick look at that while we were there and explored around and looked at the river. Found where we needed to go to do the on-off ferry around Bangkok the next day. We spent that evening up the road from, near Iconsiam Road here, where we went and had some dinner at the soy rambutan tree. This road was mainly just clothes and odd shops and mainly restaurants. We didn't actually get a very nice meal here. What we brought was, to say it was covered in soy sauce is an understatement. Anyway, next day, and we're on the on-off ferry. Now this was somewhere around $5.67 New Zealand, and it varies according to the season. It can be anywhere up to about $7.50 for a ticket. Well, that's quite cheap, really. I mean, you've got the entire day you can spend getting on and off these boats, going to different attractions, having a look around, and then simply coming back, waiting for the next ferry to come, and possibly get off at the next attraction. Totally enjoyed this. It was a very relaxed way of seeing Bangkok. And if you didn't want to be too hot, you could go down inside, which, if I remember rightly, was also air conditioned. Here we're coming up to the first stop that we went to for the day, and that's the Iconsiam. Now, I think this is supposed to be the largest shopping mall in Bangkok. I may be wrong. But anyway, this was our first stop, and so we got off here to go and have a look at the mall. As for your typical shopping mall, well, it's nothing like that. I've got to admit, the interior was just fantastic. The ceilings were incredibly made. There were so many different food stalls and stuff, and just everywhere. And there was just so much to look at. You'd have to give it to them that this is a mall worth going just to look at. There's flowers everywhere, there's displays of all sorts of things everywhere, there's even inside waterfalls, boats sitting in water ponds that you can get your photos taken on, which you see one just here now. All highly decorated with flowers and fruits and stuff like that. And just down from there, there's just an endless amount of food stalls. You name it and you could get it. But the interesting thing was, it was probably, this was more your Asian type food malls, but on each different level you may find something like a McDonald's or something similar on each different level. Here we're at the top and we're looking at a waterfall. Yeah, it's a bit hard to see there, but amazing enough, this thing, the way it flowed down, they could actually make it spell words and that as it was coming down. And here I think we're on the 6th floor. We couldn't go any higher because there was conference on, and it's apparently apartments or something, and they were all booked out. So we're overlooking Bangkok now from about the 6th floor. We're a large eating area, but it was too hot out there, so there's no one out there. On the ferry again, and we're off to Wat Arun. Now, there was a large crowd when we got here, and you were meant to buy tickets, but the queue was extremely long. So we just decided to walk around the fenced area and have a look at it and see what else there was. But when we got to the back, it was actually open there, and there was no one to stop you going in. So we just popped in quickly and had a look at it. The detail on this building, what was unbelievable. It was outstanding. But there was a lot more to do. We went to the actual Wat Arun temple and had a look around that. Again, there was just so much going on here. There were Buddhas everywhere. The walls were covered with, well, it's coloured glass, I suppose it is, resembling all sorts of things. It was incredible. Well, worth stopping to have a look, and all these statues and stuff running along, it just went forever. It's like being inside a big square, and on every side there's something going on. I really don't understand how a country that's supposed to, well, the population are not that rich, and yet they have these huge temples going on. And here we had some people even in their national costumes walking around this area, which was very interesting. Some of the ladies were looking extremely pretty. And here you'll see some of the detail they go into on making their, I would call it, mosaics. It was so intricate. It must have taken forever to do these things. There's just hundreds of thousands of duplicated articles all over the place. This temple was in use, so you were allowed in as long as you took your shoes off. Now, I don't remember whether this you were allowed to actually take pictures or not, but we took a few and snuck out. And then we left here and went across to the next stop, which was Chinatown. Wasn't a lot to see here. It was like an endless alleyway where you went through alleyways for ages and then came to a road and crossed across and went into another alleyway, and then eventually to here where it was more an open area with a canal that you could walk around. And the canal was totally full of fish. I think they were carp, so that made it a bit interesting. So after that, it's on to Asiatique. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Now this you couldn't go till after, I think it was after 4 o'clock or 4:30. It didn't open. I presume that's mainly because it's really restaurants. That boat there's a restaurant, and later on a big cruising boat for the river came in that was a restaurant as well. So I presume that's why the time was later. This had a fun park, with a Ferris wheel and a what would you call it? A ghost thing. I've forgotten the name. But there were some interesting places here where you could come and dine. The area was quite large, but it was basically just like a restaurant and shops again. So there wasn't a lot to see here. It was interesting. There were a few statuettes as well. There was a lot of people. And then as we were getting ready to leave, there was a large boat pulled in that was loading people on to go for a dinner cruise for the evening, which knew nothing about, but might have been an interesting thing to do later on. Basically that's about all we looked around Bangkok. We were sort of getting a bit tired of cities by now, and looking forward to some beach time. So after this we got onto the ferry and we went back to our hotel because it was already evening. In the next video though, we actually go to the Royal Palace. We could have done it on the ferry, but the day was running out. Thank you for watching the video.